What's poppin', players? Welcome back to a Two Penny Game Club, your monthly video game book club. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friends and co-hosts. Say hello to the people, Connor, Elliott.
Hi, guys. It's a good day. It's a good Monday. Emphasis on the D.
Phil Shoemaker.
Hello. I'm festive. I've got granted, we're reviewing Dark Souls, but there's an Elden Ring sweater.
Heyo, very exciting. And of course, Phil said it. This is your Two Penny Game Club of Dark Souls. If you don't know, in the background of each month, us three fine gentlemen, distinguished panel guests, all play a game in the background. And then we come to you at the beginning of each new month. We review that game, and we rank it amongst the other games that we've played in the series, such as Portal, Last of Us. What's the top one? Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, the best game of all time. Undeniably. Facts. Undeniable facts.
No.
Will it remain after today? Let's find out. Yeah. This is our review for Dark Souls. Just a few months ago, we played Demon's Souls.
Yes.
And general consensus, liked it, didn't love it, has a lot of issues, you know? And so I'm very interested to see where we land on today's showing. Now, of course, Dark Souls originally launched September 22nd. Weird how it's written like that. Dark Souls originally launched September 22nd in Japan, launched in October of 2011. Platform, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, has a Metacritic of 89. Same score as Demon's Souls, the original Demon's Souls.
Oh, too high.
So, no, I think it's solid.
I think both are very much too high, very much too high. By April 2013, it sold over 2 million copies, eventually selling over 11 million to date. The series, Dark Souls, all three of those games, has sold over 40 million units, developed by From Software, published by Bandai Namco Entertainment, and of course directed by Hidetaka Miyazaki. Now, let me tell you one thing about this Miyazaki, guys. Miyazaki's an ass man, He is all about that BBL. I'm talking the boss, build, and level design. Boy, oh boy, you got that in droves in Dark Souls here. In droves.
Starting it. Where to begin?
This is a complicated one for me. All right? This is a very complicated one for me. I'm going to say I liked Dark Souls a good amount. I'll say I liked it more than Demon's Souls. I might have a bit of a favorability to Demon's Souls personally, but I think this is far and away just a better game. It's more content rich. It's got way better level design, way more interesting levels to explore and run through. I think overall, the offering of boss fights here is better than what we got in Demon's Souls. There's certainly more of them. But I don't think there's that many like, oh my God, amazing fights in this game. But there is like good. Whereas, like, Demon's Souls kind of ran that gambit of, like, oh, this was pretty good. I don't know if Demon's Souls ever had an amazing one.
Never
but
did.
it had some, oh, this is pretty good. And then it had some, this is dog shit. Now, there's, like, one or two dog shits here, but there's only one or two of them, And so I think just pound for pound, the formula is better here. I think we're zeroing in on greatness. I don't know if we achieved greatness here, though. That's where I'm at. I also think this game is incredibly frustrating in ways that steps beyond the challenge of it, where like I look at it and I go, this is unnecessary. It's just mean, quite frankly. I think the game is mean-spirited. And I've just got a general feeling about these Souls games, specifically with Demons and Dark Souls. I don't think these games are fun. Like, I think they're entertaining. I think they're good, like, I think they're a nice challenge to overcome. But am I having fun when I'm playing Dark Souls? I don't think so. I don't think fun's the right word for it. I think it's incredibly entertaining. When I'm playing it, I am constantly coming back to it and going, oh, man, I want to do more. I want to do more of this experience. I kind of equate it to going to the gym. Like, I don't think that going to the gym is fun, but I feel good after I do it. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, man, I got it in. I beat that boss.
It's healthy for the soul.
I got that. I got through that level. I'm getting my fitness as a gamer has increased, right? When I play these games. And I think that's an important note. But I don't think it's fun. Like, that's a weird word to apply to this game. And we've had these conversations on a couple of shows. I've brought it up in the past. I believe saying games should be fun, or Reggie Fils-Aimé has the quote of, if a game's not fun, what's the point? I think that's incredibly reductive to the medium. And I think Dark Souls is a great example of why that mindset is reductive to the medium. Dark Souls, I don't believe is fun, but you should play it. It should be in your resume. You know what I mean? And it's so funny because these games have like a weird Stockholm syndrome effect on me, where like when I'm playing it, especially in the beginning hours, I want to say like the first like 10 to 15 hours, I'm not even having a good time. Where I'm just like, man, fuck this game. It's fucking me up. It's mean. I don't like it. I'm feeling like shit. But the more I play it, the more I'm into it. And even when I'm like that, there's a weird thing. There were so many times in this playthrough where I went, fuck it, I'm done. And I threw the controller down, I turned it off, I went on my phone, I went and I played a different game. 20, 30 minutes go by, I calm down a little bit, and I go, no, I can do it.
Let's give that another try.
No, I can do it. Run it back up. And I'll turn it. There was one night, I went to bed. Lights off.
I remember that.
Dog under the cover. Me on the phone, about setting my alarm for the next morning. And I went, and I paused, and I went, let me give myself another hour. And I turned it back on, and I played for another 2 or 3 hours. Got past whatever I was stuck on, had a great time. You know what I mean? So, like, I have a weird relationship with this game where I think it's quite good. I don't think it's great. But I have this insatiable hunger for more. And when I beat the game and it immediately throws you into New Game Plus, I immediately kept going. I rang the first bell again. That's 3 boss fights in. You know,
They're quicker, didn't you?
Oh yeah, dude, I got there in like 30 minutes. It took 7 hours to get there the first time.
Well, I mean, it's also like you already know where you're going.
You know where you're going. You're
You do
also
way more damage.
You're doing
Like,
way more
doing
damage.
Way more damage. You have like a good lay of the land as to
Yeah.
like, oh, I can skip this by going over here,
Yeah.
right?
I don't need to fight these 3 little zombie dudes because they're
Exactly.
not going to give me what I need. Now, I do appreciate in terms. I think this is much more replayable than Demon's Souls. I think this is an incredibly replayable game.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I want to replay it from scratch. Talk to me again in a couple months when I've got some distance on it. But right now, I would love to do a New Game Plus run. I don't know if I want to do a from zero run.
2 is where you want to do from 0.
You think so?
Builds, dude. You think this game had builds? Whew.
We'll see. I appreciate. Yeah, I mean, it's that same like sort of notion that we knocked on with Demon's Souls, where it's like, oh, I get it. I see the magic, and this is, I think, the magic more realized than what we saw before. The builds are deeper. They're more dynamic. There's just more loot. There's just more things to equip and find and discover in the world. There's more levels. I appreciate that all the levels are kind of interconnected. It gives you a lot of like wow moments. There was one moment in particular where my jaw dropped, where I was like, I'm back here? Fucking how? How am I back here? That's incredible. I also have this weird thing. I don't know how I feel about it yet. And by the end of this review, I may take this statement back. The interconnectivity of the levels is phenomenal and amazing. Are the levels themselves well designed? That's the question I have. It feels like a lot of hallways to me a lot of the time with a couple of open areas in between. But do you need much more than that? I don't know. But then there's also places like Andorlando, which like when you get into inside the castle and there's like the up and down and the verticality of it. There's a couple of other levels where verticality is a really impressive thing that they're playing with here. So I guess yes, level design is really good at the end of the day. However, it's still losing points for me for not having a pause button. The game not being able to pause is inherently ableist. There's nothing else to say on that conversation.
Ableist? I'm not sure if I agree, but like,
well, I think the game's design as a whole is ableist. Like, if you have any type of disability, temporary, permanent, situational, contextual, any type of disability, you can't play these games.
To offset that, I have seen people with disabilities playing this game, and it makes it even.
Let me reaffirm my statement. You're having a much more difficult time playing these games because of the way it's inherently designed. There are things that the developers could do to make it more palatable for people with disabilities. And I'm not just talking people with hand cramps or pains or physical like that. I'm talking like I have a baby, you know, and I need to be able to put the controller down at any moment to go take care of it.
That's not ableist.
That's a disability. It's a time
disability.
disability.
No.
don't say it's a disability.
No, you guys,
stupid
no, you guys just
shit
need to
like
open
that.
up your. You need to open up.
Disability is where you have like narcolepsy and you can't stay awake.
I'm gonna not react in the way that Tavin reacts here, and I'm gonna say, guys, I'm literally in a universal design and disabilities class right now. I've got an expanded view of what disabilities are. It's not just your physical capabilities to do things or your mental capabilities to do things. It's the things around you as well.
I mean, I get what you're saying. You decided to have a kid. That's you. That's on you. That's all. You can say that about a lot
You
of
don't
things.
always
too.
decide to
like
have a kid.
when you have a kid,
just have
you
a
give
kid
up
sometimes.
way more things than being able to do
It's
things
not
like talk
having a
video
kid
games.
is not always your choice.
It's not. But a lot of the times it is. Overwhelmingly it is. And that's what most people are talking about
I mean,
when they say
fine,
that.
sure, but Connor, a pause button fixes that complaint. And there is zero reasoning. There is zero reasoning. You can be up your ass and purist all you want about this stuff. There is zero reasoning as to why these games cannot have a pause button.
Yeah, I mean,
I understand that the reason you can't pause is for the online capabilities of these games, which is cool. You can turn the online capabilities off, and I still can't pause the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
So-
that's my issue.
What
No,
is-
no, no.
what is the deal here?
I'm not denying that. Bring the quality down, Connor. The voice. I'm going to get used to that. I'm not saying that that's not unreasonable. I am being a purist in that sense. I'm only arguing against what you say is a disability.
I mean, if someone knocks on my door,
Yeah.
I got to go answer the door.
Yeah.
I can't just leave them hanging out there. And so I'm going to lose progress in the game because of that. Like,
Yeah.
these are normal human being things.
Yeah.
This is entertainment at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You know, it's ridiculous that this is a thing. Also, the game loses points for, what was the name of the level?
Demon. It lost Izalith, but
Lost
Demon Ruins is,
Izalith.
like,
That
right
level's
there.
clearly unfinished and awful. Like,
Yeah.
with the way the level is designed, the gimmick of the level of running on the lava, the enemy placements. Holy shit! Talk about, hey, I just held down the mouse button and scrolled over a piece of area and dropped 20 dudes. What are we doing here? That level's wow. I can't believe they didn't cut that level.
Yeah,
like,
they
and
probably
especially
should've.
because you need 4 things to get to the end goal. Just make it 3. The 1 numerically is fine,
Rule of
and
threes,
most
yeah.
thing is rules of 3s anyway. So what are we doing? Why do we need a 4th?
Yeah. They could have just done that, couldn't they have? Nothing's stopping them.
Nothing is stopped.
Yeah.
Just cut it. Just get rid of it. You know?
I mean, you talk about a lot about that painted world being like that hidden sixth part
So
of Demon Souls.
I've
right?
got a theory. The painted world of
Ariamis.
Ariamis. Back in Demon Souls, there's 5 levels, and each of those are represented with an archstone. But the way that the hub is created, there's a 6th archstone there, and it's destroyed. I have a theory. I've nothing to back this up. I've not looked into it at all. I think the painted world of Ariamis was that 6th level, and they cut it from Demon Souls. And when they got to Dark Souls, they went, "Shit, well, let's go put that in this game." You know, it's not as long because they only had time to make they only had that much done. So because it didn't match, they cut it or whatever, or maybe there was a quality thing. But I mean, the same enemies from Demon Souls are in there, or essentially the same enemies. They've been tweaked.
Yeah, I mean,
but they're essentially
very
the same.
similar, like Phalanx to like the Phalanx demon.
Yeah, and those little like slime dudes, they're very, very similar to that.
Yeah.
The zombie dudes are the same in both games. And that boss fight feels more like a Demon Souls fight than it felt like a Dark Souls fight. So
Gimmicky has that gimmicky element to
yeah,
it.
I've got a hankering. I've got nothing to prove this. I have no idea. I've got a hankering. That was the 6th level, and they threw it in here as an optional one, as like a little wink and nod.
From Software, across all of their games, there's almost a community that's popped up of going into the game files and finding things they cut. They have cut a lot of things. Like Demon Souls, you brought that up. There was a whole entire extra level. There was. With like beast-like enemies, like beastmen type enemies.
Interesting.
And they're even in. You can see videos. I can send them later, but you can
Were they
see
giant
fully
boil
designed
enemies that
characters.
when you kill, they elicited a poison cloud?
They might be something similar. There might be. Wait,
Because those are the enemies in the painted world.
In the
Oh,
Painted
yeah,
World,
yeah,
where
that's
they
what I'm
fight
talking
you,
about.
and then you get like toxic poison.
yeah.
Fucking annoying.
Anyways,
Sure, it was fine for you because you got to do it ranged.
I'm over
But I just got my greatsword, and I'm right in their fucking face, and I get toxic.
Listen, Phil, as seeing Tavin play the game, it was aggravating to see him just be like, oh, you just used magic there. You just did the spell.
There were so many times where Connor's like, "Oh man, this fight," and I would just be like, "Yeah, it's over."
Like,
All right, what do you want?
if I had done the Painted World later than I did,
You did it earlier.
where I had like a little more ranged options, like kind of towards the back. I had more. I used my crossbow a little bit more. I used a little more of like the because I was serving Quaylock's sister. I got like the fun pyromancy spells. I could have used those.
Mm-hmm.
But I tackled it earlier than I didn't have that access to yet. So
And pyromancy makes them not blow up too.
does it?
Yeah.
Does it?
Mhm.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Connor, I want to cut to you, our FromSoft expert on here, the purist, as we just described, who has played this game 2 times before.
3 times, beat it twice.
Beat it twice. Okay, so this is your technically 4th playthrough.
Are you including this?
Or are you including
No,
it?
I was including, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so you
wow.
played it twice before.
3 times. I just beat it twice.
Oh, okay, so you had 2 unfinished
Yeah,
runs.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I
What do
had
you
one
think?
unfinished run.
Before us doing Game Club, how many times had you played it?
Oh, I'm sorry, 2. Finished once.
I
didn't
was
finish
on
once.
board.
I know. I know. It's him. It's him.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take
Listen, it's getting worse.
it. What do you, Tavin, say on live camera. What are you talking? What is getting worse, Tavin?
We're moving on.
Oh,
What do you think of Dark Souls?
I thought it was great in my own way I measure it, because Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Sekiro, any From Software game since Demon Souls is able to just suck you in. You start wanting to get more and more and more, and I find much more than other games, it requires you to spend time on it, and you want to spend that time on it. The major improvements are pretty evident from Demon Souls, and that's a theme that you constantly see throughout From Software's game design, where basically every aspect of Dark Souls is an improvement upon Demon Souls. There's more of build variety. There is more armor sets. There's more weapon types, weapons in general of those types that you can get. There is way more spells, not as much as there ideally could be, and that'll also be rectified later on. But the use of pyromancy. There's so many different ways you can approach this game that really boost up that replayability. And I think that beginning part of the game is absolutely amazing. Mainly because it all feeds into itself so well that any kind of issues you might have with the game design, when you look back on it, you kind of forget them in lieu of thinking about how cool it was that just everything fit together so well. And what becomes even more evident is how that kind of falters at the end of the game. The game doesn't really have a bad drop-off point, but it has a noticeable drop-off in quality going to these last final 4 missions. But thankfully, as opposed to Demon Souls, where you're kind of wondering almost all the way up until the end what you want your character to be like, you kind of figure that out less than to the midway point in Dark Souls. And so you're more able to kind of hone that build and maybe change it up a little bit when you find some similar type weapon, but you at least have a better idea of how you want to proceed through the rest of the game. I very much enjoy the NPC stories. I think this is the moment where you start seeing them really start focusing on it, and it's kind of, funny enough, the easiest way to consume the NPC stories, because it's kind of just on a lot more of a linear path. And they all have a lot of really good, strong emotional weight to them if you decide to actually dedicate to doing them. And you have things like the DLC, which help that end game, since it's technically a DLC, but in the main way you would play Dark Souls, it's baked into the game. It kind of alleviates those later problems of the level design kind of falling flat. Which, I guess, to harp away a bit more on those later level designs, there's so much just running to the location that you died at over and over and over again, and for no real good reason, especially when it comes to the bosses. And again, it just really makes you look back and say, well, there was a drop-off. There was a substantial one that occurred, but even still, you're enjoying yourself through the entire game experience. And the bosses, it's where they really start understanding what they're going to do with them moving forward. They moved away from the more gimmicky aspects that were displayed in Demon Souls, and it's more just about pure skill. I would say that with quotation marks because there's lots of ways to just kind of cheese the boss. It's easy to position yourself in a way where you aren't even really having to dodge a lot, just move off to the left-hand side or to the right-hand side. And they didn't factor in things like magic, where you can kind of trivialize a lot of boss fights because they don't move quick enough and don't cover enough distance to where even if they are able to get up on you after being a distance away, it's just a simple matter of backing up a little bit and they have to go through that all over again. And again, if you're pounding them with magic, you're just doing damage pretty much consistently. And though I do think that because of that, the game sings the most when you're engaging with the dodging and the rolling and the parrying when the game allows you to do those things. And it's something that again, starts getting honed more in later Dark Souls games. But here, it's where they first start getting that formula right. It feels fun to have that little dance with the enemy when you decide to not just circumvent aspects that could, again, trivialize them. I love the music improved. I'm putting a lot of improvements from Demon Souls, but that's going to be a common thread you see with us talking about From Software games because we were going to be playing them back to back so often now. And you really do see a substantial change in quality for the better, for the most part. Some people might disagree with on Dark Souls 2, but they're wrong.
I like that sentiment. A lot of this is improved, but are we are we in greatness territory yet?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's improved.
We're not, yeah, which more than you can say for a lot of games. Funny enough.
That was one thing I forgot to mention. The sound mixing in this game is pretty bad.
It's not good.
It's
and
pretty
sometimes it just, there's a specific moment in the game with the most hated boss fight in the Souls series where the audio basically just cuts out. For all intents and purposes, it cuts out and it feels very, very weird. Even with the rest of the bad audio design, you note it as being like
You're
seeming
awkward.
something.
You're awkward.
Which boss?
The Bed of Chaos boss
okay.
when you're
As
sliding,
down, the music
Yeah.
just cuts out,
Yeah.
or not even the music, just the
ambience.
ambient like noise.
I was wondering what was going on
Yeah,
there.
it just stops.
It's very strange. The bosses overall,
Improved.
they're not great. They're improved, but they're not that great. Dark Souls, I think it's one of those games that people look back on, fans of the series more I'm talking about here, and have a bit, those what do you call it, a rose-tinted glasses, where, sure, there's so much to admire about this game, but there's also so many issues with it that it's kind of hard to not take issue with them when you're dealing with the game. I think the difficulty level is very appropriate here. It's one of the more, in my opinion, you'll get very differing opinions who you talk to, but I think it's the hardest Souls game that they've made. It's just something about the interactions with the regular enemies. They can really just get one up on you super easy, whether it's through overcrowding you or just having attacks that you can't really predict how they're going to end up, or the level design factors in to make you fall off whatever platform you're fighting in, Blighttown being a specific notable example. But it's just a super fun game, regardless. I know you were saying it's not really a fun game, Tavin. Maybe this is, again, where my FromSoft brain comes into play, and I just enjoy my moment-to-moment journey, regardless of what bullshit's being thrown my way.
Some of us like getting our dick sucked. Some of us like getting our nuts stomped on.
Yeah.
I think this final boss was here than this is so far for me. This is the easiest final boss in a Souls game.
That's pretty strange, because without the parrying or magic, a lot of people usually have issue with it.
If you count Old King Elliott as the final boss,
Yeah,
I think he was harder than this guy.
I for sure think Gold King Lot was harder than Gwyn.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think this game gives you more opportunity to tackle that boss
I see. Yeah.
easier.
That is true. I guess in that way it makes it
Gwyn
easy.
also doesn't grab you and lower your soul level.
That's fine. That's fine.
You know, get good, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
You got
just
caught.
saying.
You were the only one that got caught more than once from
more
that.
than once.
True.
Only happened once. Good, Phil. I want to know where you're at with Dark Souls.
Yeah, I had actually a really fucking good time with Dark Souls. I think I was very much on board with Tavin, where I was like, oh man, I don't know if I like this more than Demon Souls or not, because I think
Hold up. Well, as we were playing the game, Phil and I were going back and forth, and we were going, I don't know, like, it might be better than Demon Souls, but the quality gap is not as big as people say it is.
Yeah.
And I still kind of stick by that a little bit, but there's definitely a quality gap. This game is definitely better than Demon Souls.
Yeah, and now I can firmly say that I do like this game more than Demon Souls as well. I'm still eager to go back and finish my remake playthrough of Demon Souls. But like now I'll have more of this understanding of okay, I knew from the beginning that this wasn't the best that we were going to get in the Soul series, but now I'm even more excited to get further on where we're gonna go in with the Soul series. But yeah, Dark Souls itself was really fun. I was also very similar with Tavin, where in the beginning I was like, man, this game's really fucking mean.
Mhm.
I don't know if I really like it. And then the whole Stockholm syndrome that Tavin was talking about, it's like that's such a great way to put it, because I think that's absolutely the case with these games. Like, as soon as you start to get into that flow state and you really start to interact with the systems of knowing what you're leveling up, like in this game specifically, I was very much like, okay, I'm gonna pick this class, I'm leveling up this stat, I'm focusing on this stat, right? And I did kind of call an audible later in the game where I switched from leveling up dex to specifically leveling up strength, because what weapon I wanted to switch to. But it still behooved me to have that much in dex when I had it. But Connor mentioned the builds in this game in the series, right? Where starting new characters from scratch, these new game plus runs, right? Just trying out different builds, and there's something so exciting about that, and the kind of progress that you get as you level up your character and take on some of these challenges that oh, if I go into new game plus, I fight this boss that I had a lot of trouble with at the beginning, but now that I know its patterns and its stuff, and I'm a higher level in like what stat that matters to me, like it becomes trivial, right? So like I picked the worst starting item in the Soul series.
Yeah, you fucking did.
The Black Firebomb, just because I was like, I had seen so much about the Asylum Demon and how like, you know, you're not supposed to fight him in the beginning. It was like, I kind of want to fight him in the beginning, and so I threw firebombs at him, killed him. And so, like, I still did all the
like
tutorials.
before you got your sword?
Right.
Oh, wow.
Exactly, yeah.
It does a lot of damage.
Yeah, the Black Firearms do a lot of damage. So I went around it, and, you know, they do the whole thing where there's the marks on the ground for that, like, we'll go into other player messages, but it's like your tutorial, right? So it's like, oh, this is how you roll. This is how you swing your sword. This is how you do all this. And so it talked about doing the plunging attack at that part where you're supposed to do it, but he was already dead.
Yep.
So I pretty much was only going through that to get, like, my sword, to get the keys and stuff, to kind of just progress and leave and go to Firelink Shrine. And so when I did my New Game Plus run, I fucked him up with my main build, and it took like maybe 5 swings to take him out.
Super easy.
And
Tavin did that too.
And then I got to Firelink Shrine. And I didn't get as far in my New Game Plus run as Tavin did. I didn't go and ring the second bell or anything. I just stopped at Firelink. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put this down. I'm gonna go play other games, do whatever. But I think this game is fucking solid, and I do want to go to this thing that I did in the Demon Souls review, where I talked about my top 5 least favorite things about Demon Souls. But this time around, because I'm more of a Souls head, I'm not just an Elden Ring pilled. I played more than just the one Souls game. Where now I'm going to go on the positive route. I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite locations in Dark Souls. My number 5, we've got.
Don't remember it.
Well, no, I'm not. I made this today. Number 5, I've got the depths. The depths.
That's crazy.
Yes,
I don't like the depths.
I really, really enjoyed the depths. Maybe I got more fond with them because I needed to farm humanity, and I needed to keep going through and kill those rats, and because they have a chance to drop humanity.
Yeah.
Because
the catacombs, or was this early before that?
This early.
Well, no.
Oh yeah, because I remember you thought that was the better place to get it.
I'm
but
sorry,
the catacombs are
not the catacombs. I'm thinking of the DLC area is what I'm thinking of, where you fight the
actual
ghost motherfuckers.
Those are actual humanities if you look at them.
Yeah,
I did not do the DLC.
The best place to farm humanity is in the Tomb of the Giants.
Tomb of the Giants.
Yeah.
Okay.
I play.
This was probably before I got through the Tomb of the Giants. Then
that makes sense.
For clarity, I played more than half the DLC. I just have the 2 fights, the dragon and the final boss of the DLC left. It was late, and I was like, I need to play other games for my top 10 end of the year list. I gotta, and so I was like, all right, let me just finish Dark Souls. If I had time, if I wasn't playing games on a schedule, I would have done the rest of that DLC and probably more of like the side quests and optional bosses and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I probably just got more fond of it because I kept going through like the regular route to kill all those rats because they have a chance to drop humanity. Because I was trying to level up my my covenant with Quilok's sister.
Smart.
And then I came to realize I was already maxed out on that.
Oh, you were?
And I did not realize.
30?
So
how much you give?
I had to have already given 30 because I had that second spell that she gives you.
Oh.
I could have used that spell.
Yeah, and so I without knowing that was the last thing that she gives me, I just kept feeding her humanities and humanities and humanities.
That's funny.
And I probably gave her an extra like 12 that I didn't need to.
Well, now that you're bringing that up, that's how you save Solaire. You can save him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it opens up an extra path that you can kill the thing that kills him before you meet him after the centipede boss fight.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he did help me out with the centipede boss fight. I think I could have skipped the centipede.
Could you?
Yeah, because I could have just I could open those doors before I fought it.
Yeah, I guess you could have.
I like that fight. Don't like the level it's in.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'm not a fan of the demon area. That whole
Not many people are.
Number 4, which I think is like a kind of a micro version of how interconnected this whole game is. Sen's Fortress, because of how how the paths kind of wind in on themselves, and you can go to different areas, and you use those marbles to like break open the walls and stuff to find new paths and stuff.
Sen's Fortress is one of these moments I'm talking about where the game kicked me out, where I was like, fuck it, I'm done, and I came back. Yeah,
and I really, really enjoyed it. I think on a micro scale, that is like kind of what this like world map of I forget what the name of the area is in Dark Souls.
Oh, the main,
Like the name of like the kingdom that you're in.
the ancient land. Anor Londo's the city, but what's the
Right, but they mention it like
Lordran?
early
No,
on.
Lordran.
Fucking fake fan over here.
I
think
literally-
Sense Fortress is when the game clicked
Lordran,
over
Lordran.
Lordran, yeah. And you know
But
just
these are
how
Drake
cool and how the levels kind of fold in on themselves, and like this area is directly below this area, right? And you can get there through this elevator, and it's very neat. I thought it was very cool. I like Sense Fortress. Those snake enemies are very weird. I feel like the only other time I've seen enemies like those is in Elden Ring.
Yeah, that's kind of. Is that the only place where they're at?
It's the only other time
That
I've
only
ever
other
seen
place.
them. Yeah.
I feel like they are. Yeah, they like their snake enemies.
There are enemies like them in Sly.
No, I mean specifically in Souls.
I understand. I understand. I know. I'm just reaching now. Sly 3. I think there's enemies like them. 2, 3.
Snake Men.
Are there snake men in 2?
I don't remember.
All right, if you don't remember, then probably 3. And then there was something else. Is there like a Ratchet and Clank snake guy that I'm not thinking of? I have an image of somebody in like gladiator armor with a snake head.
I mean, he's got like a lizard head, but they're the gladiators in 2, I think.
Maybe. Anyways, we can move on.
Number 3, Honor Londo.
A lot of people's
Love
favorite.
Honor Londo.
Very
I love
cool.
it.
Very very cool area. I also think back to that
Worst run of the game.
that run where
Fuck.
me and Tavin and Connor were on Discord, and they were kind of like, I heard them like put their controllers down and watch me do this run.
That's funny.
Like on a I think it's like 2 archers like they're flanking you, and
Yep.
you have to run up this like very thin platform. And I did it first try.
That part. Oh, you did it first try. You're such a
First-
son of a bitch.
I did it first try, and then it made Tavin really mad.
I still attest. If you failed that one time, you almost did.
Yeah.
And you got shot.
Would've gotten
You
stuck.
would not have. You would have gotten stuck. It would have. It cursed you. It would have cursed you.
Yeah.
You got lucky, Phil.
Fuck
It-
that
was
shit,
actually,
dude.
That was actually good.
Because it's not even just like that part. It's the long. It's because it's just and Orlando's so big, like, and it feeds into what Connor was talking about. There's a lot of time wasted just running,
Yeah.
like where we're just running for no reason, you know. And it's that because you're at the fire link with the fire keeper, and then you run and you wait for the elevator. The elevator comes up, take the elevator down, and then you run across the thing, and then you run all of this is empty land. You're not fighting anything. You're just running, and then you get to the big 2 guys. You dodge them. You go around. There's a little fucking what do you call them?
Balcony.
Like the gargoyle fucks? What are they gargoyles?
Oh, they're like demons.
Like the lower class,
like imps
guys.
or something, right?
Yeah, imps.
Yeah,
Imps is a
that's a
better
good way
way.
to-
It's
yeah.
the horde of
That's what
imps.
they're called.
The imps can occasionally tag you with ranged attacks, which is fucking annoying.
They have like lightning attacks and shit.
And they are this type of enemy that Connor was talking about, where they can swarm you, and then all of a sudden you're taking 6 hits out of nowhere, and then you're running up this thin fucking thing. Both these archers are fucking you up, and the arrows don't make you flinch; they make you fly backwards. And fuck that fucking run.
Well, maybe if you had higher poise and you held your shield up, maybe you could have survived.
That is.
I mean, I held my shield
That
up.
helps. You
Well,
were
your
not
poise. You don't have enough poise.
I mean, it didn't make
Twice.
me flinch when it hits you. It does that, but if it hits your shield, it just kind of like slides you back a little bit. But only if you're standing still. If you're moving forward, you're moving forward.
I do really quick. You mentioned curse. Curse that
Yes.
being cursed in this game is very interesting. Mainly
I
because
like it.
originally I hated it, and then I realized if you're cursed, you can kill those ghosts in New Londo.
Yep.
Even before I got there, I liked it. Like functionally, I was like, "Oh, this is a better way to do what they were doing in Demon Souls."
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
way
like.
better.
yeah.
I like that it's like enemy based. Like only select enemies can do it to you. Could have used more types of enemies
Yeah.
that do it to me. And you know, it was just like an extra bonus that there's a point to it outside of it just fucking you up.
And it's cool because they really do play around with that idea. Because I've mentioned before how 2 brings back the loss of health when you die, but it's incremental. So it's like small bits until you're like, well, I got to pop up humanity. I need it. It's better, but it's also like we can land somewhere different. It's the progression of game design that
can't-
makes me appreciate this game even more.
I can't wait for Phil to find out the punishment system for dying in Sekiro. It's fucking great.
I was very happy. Like whenever I was really dying a lot, and I was like, man, thank God there's no like world tendency I have to worry about like in Demon Souls.
Thank
Where,
God.
like
Um,
I died so often in specifically going back to Demon Souls. That was it called the one that starts off in a prison and then you go to like the top and there's those like gargoyles.
Tower of Latria?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Tower of Latria. Where I died so often, and then there was that one asshole that would come down the stairs because your word tendency was
Yes.
too
Oh,
low.
fuck him.
Oh my
or
god,
whatever that is.
It was the Cthulhu looking thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like the Mind Flayers.
Yep.
And it was such an asshole. But anyway, number 2 got the Painted World of Ariamis as my second favorite.
That's a cool little area.
Very,
you
very
find.
cool.
Yeah.
Love the painted world.
Extremely well designed. The visuals of it are very, very cool.
Yeah.
Like I love the I know Tavin said he hated him. I love the little skeletons on the wheels. I think they're so funny.
Fuck those things. That's
I
my
wish I
least favorite enemy in the whole game.
That is top 3 probably most hated Souls enemies in all
hate that
Souls
fucker.
games.
Because if it tags you, you're done. You just
Yep.
got to sit there and watch you die.
If
Like,
you have really low poise, yeah.
Shields help out in strong
it's not even a shield thing. It's just if it hits me.
Well, no, because you can survive. Oh, no, he is right, because if you get caught in it, you can just get in the grinder.
No, yeah, you'll get in the grinder, you lose a lot of health. But me being having very high poise, I wasn't flinching. I was just losing health. So I was able to strike in the middle of being hit.
Poise, man. See,
Poise.
seeing you play again, I was like, man, strength builds are the way to go.
Dude,
I love them.
dude.
There's something, Tavin, you have to understand. There's something
This
good.
guy also didn't level up endurance nearly enough.
Nope. He didn't need to as much.
Well, I didn't need to as much, but like I should have done it more. But also, I made the mistake of throwing too many levels into dexterity because I read online that dexterity increases lowers cast time for spells. But you have to get to like level 30 for that to start happening, and so I wasted, I don't know, 8 or 9 points in dex that I shouldn't have.
I think endgame. I don't remember exactly my stats, but I had at least 30 in vigor and endurance, and at least 30 in strength, and almost 30, if not 30 in dex.
Yeah, I had 40 something in intelligence, and then high 20s in vitality and endurance. Maybe I was breaking 30 on endurance. You know what? Actually, I think I broke 30 on both of them.
Yeah,
by the end of it.
And then we go down to number 1, which is going to be surprising. It's Blighttown.
Yeah,
That is my favorite spot in the entire game.
Good,
because it's just the best version of a poison swamp area that I've ever seen in a Souls game.
It's just the bottom part. That's the only thing that really poisons you.
But like the way down, I remember like if you told me at the Phil like as he was entering Blighttown that it would end up being his favorite, he would have been like pissed. I was like, no, it's not. There's no fucking way.
Well, it's not the poison part that people hate. It's the upper part, the first part of it that people hate because now I'm playing a bunch of Dark Souls and talking about Dark Souls, so the algorithm's picked up on that and it's showing me a bunch of like, oh, did you know in Dark Souls 1 you can do this? So I'm seeing heat maps for Dark Souls 1 in different areas of where people are dying, and in Blighttown, unilaterally, it's just motherfuckers falling off the edge.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I mean, I fell off the edge, but guys, what are y'all doing?
Like, there was I remember the first time I was going across a really thin bridge and I saw it fucking start to move. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, that
and
was
I didn't die, but I was like, oh my god, okay, be careful.
There's you. You got to take it slow.
Yeah, it was very, very, very like one of those quick heart drop moments where it's like, oh, but you caught your phone before it fell in the toilet or something like that, right?
In Blighttown, there's a great early game weapon for casters and mages and stuff where it's a catalyst that doubles as a spear.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
It's a great early game thing because it does more damage than pretty much every other weapon you can get with that low equip load. It does more damage than pretty much every other weapon that you can get at that point. And the cast does equivalent damage to your normal catalyst. The only problem with it is that it doesn't scale. So at some point you have to give it up because you're just not going to be putting out the numbers that you want to.
Yeah. Training wheels in a way.
But yeah, Blighttown is my favorite part of Dark Souls as a game.
You said that derogatory, but like, yes.
No, I didn't.
Okay. My bad.
The way down, the poison swamp area, the boss for Quelaag is such a great boss fight.
I do like that.
That's the first this is good.
Yeah. It's like, okay, finally.
And it was a great time.
Yeah.
I loved every part of it.
Which, to that point, one thing I absolutely love about this game is those moments that just take you off the beaten path. You said the Painted World of Ariamis. The other one, which I wish I told you guys this, is Ash Lake.
I did that.
Oh, you did do that?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I fought that other Hydra. I went down the tree.
Yep.
That was dope.
It's just like
I didn't do this.
It's just a cool moment. I don't know. Have you seen what
This
it
is where
looks
all
like?
the mushroom people are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go down this giant tree.
And I met this giant dragon, and I chopped his tail off for a dragon.
Yes, you can do that. Yeah. And that's a covenant as well.
Is it a covenant?
Yeah. Tavin, it just opens up into this wide expanse of these these large ash trees. Because if you remember in the cutscene at the beginning, you see those like tall trees. It's those underneath this large cavern with the only time like music plays. It's like this whole.
But one thing that's like crazy about that is like the landscape is like sand dunes.
Yeah.
So like it's very sheer. So like if you even slightly step off of like your path, you'll slide off into the water and die.
Don't love that.
Yeah.
Don't love very Mario 64 of them.
Yeah.
This game has a really cool thing that like I would also attribute to like is also really cool about games like Metal Gear Solid in that series and so forth, where like there's a lot to like experiment and explore with, and a lot of like it's a lot of like water cooler moments of like, oh, but did you know if you do this and drop this item off at this NPC, this happens next and so forth. So like, Hunter, I see why you say it. I don't think the NPC stories are interesting, like in terms of like a story or like this is my narrative. This is my narrative thing that I'm talking about. Like I'm not emotionally attached to these characters. Emotion is not a vehicle that you get into when playing these games, which is my whole basis of narrative in it.
I would say that I'm somewhat invested in these NPC stories, but I would not say I'm emotionally invested.
What I think it is it's interesting in a design perspective, in the same way that it's that I was just describing of a, oh, did you know that you can save Solaris if you do this? And you go, oh shit, well what happens after that? Oh, it's this, that, and the third. And you go, oh, that's very interesting, you know?
Yeah.
Now, in my limited experience, it seems like most of these NPC stories just end in them dying in different ways. In which I go, okay, so is that interesting, or is it's like, oh, I got a new weapon out of that because I prolonged this NPC's life for an extra hour.
I don't think I found what's the Onion Knight's name? Something with Katarina, right?
Yeah, he's the weirdest because you have to go back to the poison swamp, and he's there to give him an item, and then he goes back to the demon ruins where that's where it kind of
I ran
is
into
weird.
him the least.
What?
I ran into him the least, and I was disappointed.
Did you see him in Sen's Fortress?
No.
You didn't do it either,
Really?
Tavin. Yeah, you know that.
Yeah, he's just in like an offshoot room.
I didn't see him.
He's just hanging out. He seems kind of sad. He's sad about something.
Yeah.
I talked to him and he was like, I forget what he said, but it was something of like, oh, it's not here or something like that. So I guess he was looking for his daughter.
His daughter, I guess you met her. I don't know if
TikTok showed me that you got to kill a thing and she hops out.
Outside, but on the way to the boss run to Seath in that foresty area, there's a multicolored golem, and inside is his daughter, and she's trying to like find him.
Oh,
and the way it ends is that when you encounter him in the demon ruins, he's like, I'm gonna go jump down this hole and fight these enemies, right, to do something good to help you out. And there's a lot of different ways it can happen. He could either like die there, or the full way you go through his story is that he becomes hollow. He's kind of like disenfranchised because you saved him instead of him being able to do his valiant knightly thing. And you find him in Ash Lake, dead, killed by his daughter.
Oh,
Like off to the side, and it's like, damn, it's sad. She's crying and all sad and whatnot. I mentioned to Tavin this. I don't know if you know, but if you do the DLC, right, when you go and fight the final boss, there's an area where you can get guided to Sif.
Oh yeah,
who is the whole lore is that Artorias was like going down to the
master,
abyss.
right?
Yeah. And he, in his final, when he was losing to this giant Manus, this evil dark, or not evil really, but a dark, monstrous boss that you fight at the end of the DLC.
Okay.
And this is how he falls to the abyss, and you fight his boss earlier on. But he saves his wolf by putting a shield over there.
He falls to the dark side of it.
He does,
essentially.
But he like puts a barrier around the wolf, and you could save the wolf and call him in for the boss fight, or her in for the boss fight.
Dope.
But
so the whole story conceit of the DLC is you get transported back in time.
Oh,
so it's a young, small Seath. Like the Seath. Well, I say young and small. Yeah. It's like the size of a normal wolf.
That's funny.
And then, but if you do that before you fight Seath, in the cutscene where Seath enters, Sif, Sif recognizes you, and like has this like cute moment where she like sniffs you and like gives you like a little lick, a little kiss, and then gets sad and picks up her sword.
And because she's got to defend the ring. Yeah. It makes the sad moment way more sad.
These are all the moments of like, it's all these, oh, but did you know? Like, that's the thing where I go, oh man, this is fucking cool. This is some cool shit.
And the twist on this is that everyone thought that Artorias was the hero who stopped the spread of the abyss when it was you. It was always you. But the legend's got to stay a legend.
I didn't put that together. That's cool.
Yeah, if you go talk to the mushroom, she's like, I'll know what you did, but legends must stay legends. Like, things must stay the same.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that. I was gonna mention because I forgot. I got sidetracked. Whenever you mentioned that, these games are like what are they called? Stockholm syndromes.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't necessarily like, oh, I'm locked. It was like I want to prove that I'm better than this game, right? Like I want to prove that I'm going to overcome. I'm going to conquer.
Regardless of whether we compare it to previous Souls games or later Souls games, that's always been the spirit of Dark Souls. It's overcoming that challenge and getting that feeling when you do so. And it's why the games kind of, in a way, bosses mainly become harder, because when you beat them, that's kind of the best. When you beat a hard boss, that's the greatest sense of accomplishment that a Dark Souls games offers.
Sure, yeah.
When it does come up. And so they kind of design it to maximize that feeling as much as they can. And
speaking to you mentioned the fan reception of this game and the fan favorability of this game, the rose tinted glasses on them. I'm willing to cut the game a little bit of slack in this because of the time.
Mm-hmm.
This game really went against the grain. Like this was the real start of that Soulsborne movement that happened, and like I remember being. Because 2011 we wouldn't have been in high school yet. But I remember my freshman year of high school, people talking around in gym class, and there's always that one real nerdy kid. And he was like glowing about this game called Dark Souls. And he's like, "Oh man, it's so hard. And if you do this, that, and a third."
I had the same thing in high school as well, but it was probably closer to like 2013.
Yeah,
it's the beginning of that cultural moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he had it on his laptop out on like the front lobby area. He was just playing. I remember vividly seeing that castle gate where you find the Taurus demon. Seeing that.
Okay, yeah. And so like, it sounds corny to say. It's brave of the game and of the developers to be like, okay, this game plays a very specific way. The attack button's not on a face button. Now we had this last time. This was the same with Demon Souls, but like that was uprooting standards. 20 plus year old standards at that point, you know, and saying, no, like, yes, we're going to be punishing. Yes, the enemies will respawn. Like that was a thing of like, what? The enemies respawn? This is impossible. Yeah. Like, so just the concept of the struggle was new to that. All of that said, I still don't think it's excusable to have an unfinished level in the fucking game.
And the level of jankiness that the rest of the game has.
Unfinished level, not being able to pause.
Yeah. And I'd be willing, especially in 2011, like multiplayer standards. I'm not going to judge it like how I would today, on that. But like, come on, man. If I'm not online, let me fucking pause.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, they do that in Elden Ring. Like if you're offline, you can pause the game fully.
Yeah. It takes like it takes more button presses than it should, but yes.
No, not here.
Yeah, not here. Especially when you get to Sekiro and there's not really an online component to that game, at least not to the extent that it is in this one. So, and then there's a pause button, and I go, okay, so you can.
Oh, so you can do this.
You can do this,
You just choose not to.
Yeah. So that's where I'm like, all right, well then what are we doing here? The game is good.
It is good.
Really fucking good.
The game is good.
We want to go to the rankings.
I think we can
so
go
as
ahead
well.
and jump into some of that. So of course
I'm gonna go last.
Connor wants to go last. Okay. Let me. Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we rank every game in the game club against each other. There are currently 40 titles in the list. I'm not exactly sure where this is going, so I'm going to read a good amount of them. I think I'm going to stay out of S tier. Sure. So I'll go all the way up to A.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Please read S tier.
You want me to read all 40 entries on this list? Okay.
I'm just kidding. I was trying to get you to think I was going to put it there.
I think we're safe. I think we're pretty safe. It's going to go like at least C tiers. Start from.
Where was Demon Souls?
Demon Souls is 28.
All right. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with C, but C starts at 36.
Okay.
Yeah. 36, BioShock. 35, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. 34, Prey. 33, Tomb Raider. 32, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. 31, Alan Wake. 30, Batman Arkham Asylum. 29, Uncharted 1. 28, Demon Souls. 27, Signalis. 26, Halo Combat Evolved. 25, Dead Cells. 24, Shadow of the Colossus. 23, Mario 64, 22, Resident Evil 4, 21, Portal, 20, Kingdom Hearts 2, 19, Banjo-Kazooie, 18, Ratchet & Clank, 17, Pokemon Soul Silver, 16, Severed, 15, Resident Evil, 14, Chrono Trigger, 13, Dishonored, 12, Metal Gear Solid, 11, Shovel Knight, 10, Portal 2, 9, Doom 2016, 8, Yakuza 0, and we're going to stop right there. The S rank, it's not getting there. So it was really funny whilst playing the game. I was like, this is probably above Demon Souls, but it's not much above Demon Souls. Like I could really make the argument that this doesn't go above Shadow of the Colossus. But as I kept playing, I think specifically Sin's Fortress is when it kind of clicked for me. And the moment it clicks, it like backtracks, and everything you had faced prior to that suddenly becomes a lot greater in your mind.
Yeah.
You know, despite the level of frustration and anger you felt in the early hours, suddenly those are amazing. So like Blighttown, I can understand a lot of players being, because the first time is grueling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's frustrating and like rage-inducing. But I agree. I think it's one of the best levels in the fucking game. Because once it clicks, once you're into the grind, you look back at it and you see things differently. And so the as I kept going, the game kept rising for me.
How much did it rise, though?
That's really a tricky question. I went into this not really knowing where I was going to look. This is I wasn't looking prior to setting up for record. Like I didn't look last night on where I would go. I really had no idea. To me, taking in all of what's improved here, but how we're still not. There's almost an element of you are now at a level of quality that when you miss, I'm taking off more points. You know what I mean? Because you should know better now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where Demon Souls, I went, okay, yeah, this boss sucks, and yeah, this level's not good, but like you see the potential here, and
Development
and I'm
issues
like,
as well.
this is the moment where I go, oh man, but the sequel. Well, we're at the sequel now, and so now I look at you and I go, okay, well, why do you still have level design like this? Why are there still enemy types like this? You know, why is there like just things of this quality now? Now, I'm not saying it's going to go near Demon Souls still. I'm just saying that this is an aspect of how I'm grading it. And taking in all of the game's improvements, but all of its shortcomings, things that work, don't work, things that I still see, though they are improved, could be improved even more. They're like, Connor, I think you mentioned it, the spell selection in this game, there's more spells, but they're very limited in use.
Yeah.
Most of them are just Soul Ray. And you go, all right, well, could we have figured out something cooler to do than just Soul Ray, you know?
Yeah, they've gotten that down with faith, like miracles with the faith builds, but yeah, they never really did it with this magic.
Right.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
intelligence-based.
yeah. So I look at it and I go, all right, well, like we still have room to go here, you know? And so it's not that I'm creating space for the future. It's just I think there's things that hold this game back from being even higher than I would like to put it still, you know?
I'm in that same space.
And so for me, this game is good, not great. I think for me, the first great game on this list is Banjo-Kazooie. And so I'm going below Banjo-Kazooie at the new number 20, above Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Gentlemen, I'm going to be bold here.
Bold.
Here he goes.
Bold and brash.
I'm going to
Here
be
he goes.
bold. I'm going to be bold. However, I'm still going to use my brain.
He's giving it that MGS4 and Demon Souls treatment.
But I'm still going to use my brain here because
fucking 20 spots higher than it needs to be.
here's the thing. Is yeah, did I rate both of those higher than you guys? Yes, absolutely. Will I do that again? It remains to be seen. We haven't heard Connor's thing yet. I think if this was just my list, I was being Phil about it, right? This is going at the new number 15 above Resident Evil. However, I can fully understand how much more well-crafted of a game Resident Evil is. And for that reason, I think it belongs at the new number 16 on that cusp of like top of B tier, bottom of A tier. I'm not entirely sure where we want that, but I think this firmly goes above Severed.
Damn, okay. I see. Both of you guys gave good estimations of where you think it should go, and for good reasons. And I will now give mine. Funny enough, I am gonna, because in what you were saying, Phil, I would rank this much higher than I'm about to. But I said I was going to be objective. And I put on that objective cap, and I found the slot. I found where I'm going to put it and why. It would be at the new number 22, above Resident Evil 4, below Portal.
Oh,
the reason why.
Above Portal?
No, below Portal. My bad.
Same reaction, but the right words. Below Portal?
Yeah.
You put Kingdom Hearts 2 above Portal.
See,
Rightfully so.
That's the thing. Well, I would put Dark Souls 1 above Kingdom Hearts 2. But here's my reasoning, right? I would put Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls, in my mind, being above Kingdom Hearts 2.
Personally, not objectively.
Okay. Not objectively for one big reason. There are, as you said, Tavin, elements of this game that aren't as complete and fully realized as they reasonably should be. Mostly, I think of the latter half of the game, which sees a drop-off. Like, you notice it.
Yeah.
Even though builds help, make it a little bit better, and some of the bosses do as well.
Ain't nobody putting the catacombs as their favorite level.
Exactly. What helps this is the DLC, but that's only one part of it as opposed to the rest of the bulk of that latter half of the game. And there's the fact that you can easily take advantage of bosses with me seeing you do the magic the way you did. A lot of it's also about just moving and positioning yourself rather than actively dodging all of the crazy shit that's coming at you. And I admit part of this might be because I played all those other Dark Souls and I know it's on the horizon and that's doing something to my brain. But I would say it's below Portal because whereas my biggest criticism of Portal is that it's nearly a perfect game in what it's doing, but it's so short, it doesn't really leave an impact, certainly not as much as Dark Souls 1 does. But what can you really criticize about game design? Not really anything.
Yeah.
And that's where Portal has served.
There's just not enough of it.
Yeah. And in the same way Resident Evil has been like a good benchmark for the A tier, at least for all intents and purposes. I would change that because of my own folly.
Resident Evil's an S tier game.
No. But I understand it should be higher. In the sense that blocks games from going into A tier, Portal kind of, I think it fits in that really nice spot where when there's so many glaring drop-offs in the game quality, like with Resident Evil 4, like with Mario 64, that it kind of, it serves as like, if you can't be more consistent in your game's quality, that you it's a good place to be below Portal, which even though it doesn't have a lot to chew on, just again, from a game design perspective,
they knew when to stop.
They knew when to stop, and they knew what they were doing. And so, for that reason, I would tentatively put it below Portal. Because even then, Dark Souls just has so much to appreciate and so much to talk about and gush about, far more than Portal 1 would ever be capable of. I mean, honestly, more than Portal and more than Portal 2. But it's more than just the conversations and how you personally feel about the game. It's just how the game performs. And Dark Souls just does not do it as well as the first Portal does.
To engage with that conversation of consistency and quality,
yeah,
and
not even really consistency. I framed that wrong. It's more about there's a large drop off in quality. Yeah.
I agree with you. There is a large drop once you get past Anne Orlando, right? Yeah. But it's a much less severe drop than what we saw in Resident Evil 4.
It is, which is why it's better than Resident Evil 4. It's comfortably like the gap between Resident Evil 4 and Dark Souls is pretty sizable. I think there's a lot of games that we can play that are going to go in that range to fill that empty spot. It's just that it's more about the comparison to Portal and just, well, that's what can you criticize about Portal besides its length,
right?
And its impact on like the gamer individually and collectively, I guess.
Now, at the fear I'm going to go too far and then
rationalize me to change it.
Yes, and then you're going to change too much for my liking.
It might happen.
I still feel like there is enough high quality here to surpass Kingdom Hearts 2.
There is.
I think Kingdom Hearts 2 is a quality game, but it sits at like a low medium.
Careful.
Yeah. I know, right? I think it sits at like a low medium level of quality, where I think Dark Souls shoots up to the high levels, but it just has these key moments where it shoots down to the depths of like, this is bad.
And I agree.
I'm in person this week.
You are. And the heights are better in Dark Souls. Then there's more heights. There's way more heights.
I still think, like, just ratio of game time, I think Dark Souls achieves more than Kingdom Hearts 2.
It does, and it's just that level of jankiness and ways you can circumvent what their clear vision was.
Okay.
That makes me think, well, it's not as tightly designed as a game.
I'm breaking the game not because of how I'm forming my build, but because I'm manipulating the mechanics in a way that is clearly not intended.
Yeah, it's not. It was all the.
Okay.
the blind spots weren't covered yet.
I'll say, despite my personal criticisms, I don't think you can say that about Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I've seen a clip in what's that foresty area where you meet the cat?
Darkroot Garden.
Yeah. So you see all those like ghostly like people that come out because they're like, kind of cloaked or whatever.
They're invaders.
Are they?
Yeah. So you can get them on your side if you join the covenant that's associated to the cat.
So
What I was
a
going to say-
miscommunication just happened. They are not.
They're not invaders.
Invaders.
They're not invaders, you're
They are NPCs, but yes, they are invisible because they're using sneaky stuff.
Gotcha. So I've seen a clip where someone has taken those guys, and they've gone around a cliff, and then they literally all just roll off the cliff.
And
as you're in this little overhang, like I can see that's you're
And
manipulating
you
the
can
AI.
do that. You can do that with the big dudes in Blight Town as well.
Exactly.
And that speaks to what I was talking about with the difference of Demon Souls and this one.
Yeah.
In Demon Souls, that was cute and charming because the level of quality of the game was lower. We are now too high for that to be acceptable.
Yeah, and so, Tavin, I'm happy where you put it, and I'm happy where it's going to end up on the list because it's more conductive to what I would feel. Because, again, I can more easily be convinced that it would go above. Actually, it probably would eventually go above Kingdom Hearts 2 with conversation.
But
the objective part.
Just to keep Kingdom Hearts as high as you can, just fill out like a hard switch and
No,
drop,
I mean,
drop 7 points.
I'm perfectly fine with this being the new number 20.
Yeah.
I love Banjo-Kazooie. It's Tavin is just too attached to it.
You are very attached to it, but it's just it's the fact that it's such an old game and it's able to hold up so well despite its jankiness.
That's
it.
Whereas Mario 64, the jankiness really hurts.
What's going to be crazy is once we hit Banjo-Tooie, Tavin's going to take that and like ratchet it up to like the fucking top.
I knowing almost nothing about Banjo-Tooie, literally almost nothing. I'm expecting Banjo-Tooie to be close to Shovel Knight.
Banjo-Tooie is, I think, way better than Banjo-Kazooie, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. We will
It's
find
been
out
a while
hopefully.
since I played it.
Yeah,
Like
I'm hopeful because I was very amped about Banjo, and that those games live in a time where every year you were seeing drastic improvements happening.
the last time that I
in
played
game
it,
design.
the last time I played it was like on the Xbox Live Arcade when I was like,
Yeah. So and that like I mean just look at the and a reminder for the people at home, I wanted Banjo a spot higher above Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
That gap between Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie, those are for the most those are for the most part pretty damn similar games. You could be like, oh, they're pretty much the same game, right? Like
Banjo kind of copied Mario 64.
oh, it 100%, it 1,000% did.
it's better.
But it just, like that gap just shows you what that year difference did in that time,
Really?
right? Where it's just like Mario 64 is just so difficult to meet it halfway. It's so difficult to put in the legwork to put yourself in that time. Banjo, I don't feel that way. I feel like yes, there's frustrating moments of Banjo. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely that fucking that level with the ship that I can't Rusty Bucket Bay or some shit.
That's exactly it.
Fuck that level. That level's a piece of shit.
The final boss fight, still top contention of top 5, arguably top 3 worst bosses in video games.
Isn't it like the quiz?
Oh,
No.
I don't like the fucking quiz.
How old is she?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't talk to that fairy godmother. I didn't get that information. But like, I forgot the point. So like, I think being able to stand the test of time like that, I think just in the short, the short decade and a half we've had since Dark Souls, like I think Banjo is aging better than Dark Souls long term.
Yeah.
Like Banjo's 20 plus years. And I think is around the same level of quality, and so the fact that it's like that in the age that it came in, like versus where Dark Souls is at that time, and I'm still giving points for Dark Souls for going against the grain and revolutionizing what 3D action games are and all that. Like I think we're just at a point where it's like, okay, but like at some point we have to be like, it was way more difficult for Banjo to do what it did, and it still hit that bar.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is you said that made me think of this. I'm surprised you put it above Pokemon Soul Silver, because that's a game that doesn't really like bare bones as far as JRPGs like that can go. But it's again blind spots of Dark Souls, the errors that game makes aren't really found at all in Pokemon Soul Silver.
No, I agree as far as like the quality of like the game making, but I think just like the actual highs of like the gameplay of Dark Souls, just put it above.
That's true.
The kind of like you said, bare bones. As much as I love Pokemon, I'm the biggest Pokemon fan at this table. Pokemon Soul Silver being my second favorite game of all time. Like, I don't know. I just think the gameplay highs and like amount of straight up indoor that hit my brain as I'm defeating a boss, like it's incalculable compared to Pokemon Soul Silver. I don't know.
That is true. I agree with that, but it's the game as a whole. I just can't help but I can't put it above Pokemon Soul Silver or a lot of those other games.
Hey, more power to you.
That's what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dark Souls is our new number 20, above Kingdom Hearts 2, below Banjo-Kazooie.
Indeed.
I want to pause real quick, gentlemen, just because we didn't really talk about it. Are we unanimous in that? You guys know the actual names of them. I don't. What do you call them? The Dragon Slayer and the Executioner is the best fight in the game.
Ornstein and Smough.
Ornstein and Smough. Yeah,
thought they were?
That's my number one. I love them too.
Not Artorias? I figured that was the other one you might go for.
I understand your point of like, hey, if you're gonna play Dark Souls, you're gonna play Dark Souls Remastered, which includes the DLC. I don't see DLC as part of the game. You know, it's like a little like bonus treat. You know, but if I didn't like the game, I wouldn't have engaged with that content. You know what I mean? So like I just see it as like a bonus little. It's just a little bonus, like a little
extra.
It's
extra.
I see it as optional content.
It's
not
to me. It's piece of candy. Where like optional content is my mashed potatoes.
I think Ornstein and Smough stands out as like, because it's in the game. It's the only one where you're fighting like two bosses at once, right?
Well, Bell Gargoyles.
Yeah, but like you're already halfway done with like the first gargoyle
Yeah.
before the other one shows up.
Not the same. It's not the same as fighting them full strength.
Right, right. And then once you beat that first gargoyle, the second one doesn't get stronger.
No, it does not.
And then reset its health bar.
Well, if you're using that as a standard for multi-enemy boss fights, you'll be disappointed.
no, I agree, but I know that doesn't happen for like the rest of the series or whatever.
Until like Elden Ring.
Sure. But yeah, I think that's a pretty solid pick for like the best boss
But
of the game.
From what you just said, did you say you don't think they do that kind of design at all?
I can't imagine. I haven't seen anything else where they do that.
Well, that's the issue. They do it.
oh,
And there's not a good one until Elden Ring.
heard.
No, not until Dark Souls 3.
I'm sorry, I was building for the next segment. Did you say there's no bad dual set boss fight?
No.
The
There's
one in Demon Souls.
only
The
bad
one in Demon
ones.
Souls was trash.
I mean, I'm saying like after this, I at first made it seem like, oh, there's no more of those boss fights. There's
I'm
no
sure
more of
there
those good boss fights.
Yeah, there's
but
no
then I
more
was like,
good
no,
ones.
3 has one.
I fully expect. Connor said before that Dark Souls 2 is his favorite. No, he likes it more than one. That's
Yeah.
what he said. And he's got a great affinity for Dark Souls 2. I fully expect Dark Souls 2 to be his Kingdom Hearts, where we're gonna be like, this game fucking sucks.
Look,
Compared to the first one, like, come on.
You guys are letting maybe not better than the first one. Easily
We'll see.
could not be. You guys are gonna like it more than other people have said what the level of quality is
Okay.
at. I can promise you that.
Well, I've never heard people put Dark Souls 2 in like worst of all time. I've pretty much only ever heard of like, oh, this is the not good one.
Yeah, and people who like do like it fucking ride for it.
Exactly. Hopefully
Ladies
you
and
guys
gentlemen, it is time to figure out what we play for the month of December, coming back to you the first week of January. Now, of course, the way that the rotation works, it is now time for the great spinner wheel. I want to note some differences here in the wheel. You may be able to notice just off of looking at it. There was a behind the scenes conversation of sequels. And sometimes it's taking us a long time to get to sequels of games that we've already played before. And some of the design narrative that you can follow through a franchise from game to game is kind of getting lost through time. You know, it's been almost 3 years since we did Batman Arkham Asylum. It's been,
Did you put Yakuza and give that one more?
That's a good question. Let me find out.
Sorry, we should have done this before.
How do you even do that? Oh, you do like
Yakuza
you give it
Kiwami.
more-
I did not. So here, we're going to do that. So, oops. I've gone through and I've touched up some numbers and I did a little bit of experimenting. And so I put a weight of 3 on every sequel to a game that we've already played. The weight of 3 to 1 gives it through my limited experimentation, about every 4 out of 10 times you're going to land on a sequel to a game. I felt that ratio was acceptable. I would have rather 3 out of 10, but lowering it to a weight of 2 equated to only about 2 out of 10. And I was like, that's a little too low for my liking, so I'd rather go too high than too low.
Yeah.
I would rather. I think, ideally, I would want it to be like half the time.
Okay, well then that works for the same thing. So here we go for the month of December. We have vetoed Hellblade: Sinuous Sacrifice, Lies of P, and fuck, I don't
remember what I.
Splinter Cell.
That's what it is.
Splinter Cell 1. And so now we're gonna let the wheel go, and we're gonna discover what we are going to be playing for the next month.
Dark Souls 2.
Imagine. No, it's
Not
game.
Dark Souls 2.
New game?
It's a
Not
small
a sequel.
one.
Yeah! What the? All right, Cruelty
That's
Squad.
insane. We were just talking about this before.
We were just talking shit about this before.
You were talking shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cruelty Squad is the next game
That's
that we are
crazy.
going to be playing on.
The fact that we were talking
on
about
the
it before
game
we
now.
went live is crazy.
Ah, man, that's great. That means we have power, guys. We don't
That's
realize
wild.
it, but we have power.
This is a severed ass pick, but like it's not going to be as good as severed.
Oh, dude,
We'll
it
see.
definitely might. I've only heard like glowing things about this game.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, so in
That's crazy.
It
in
really is.
January,
Are we in a
this is when-
simulation? Like,
We might
It's like
be.
when we got Banjo-Kazooie after he predicted that. In January, we will be back with a review of Cruelty Squad. So make sure you're loading up that game. You're playing alongside with us. Let us know down in the comments below what you thought of Dark Souls and where we are with the list as it stands. Give us your own personal ranking of the games. And, of course, until next time, have a great time. Gentlemen, say goodbye to the people.
Have a
Bye.
nice day.